Hello, everybody. I want to thank you for joining me. I am inspired to share and explore this idea of decision making and choices, or seeming choices, in truth, in unified perception, in wholeness, in love, in what's real. There is only love, so there really isn't choice. At best, we can say there's either choice to be aware of it or choice not to be aware of it. But anyways, the ego thought system functions in such a way that it believes in choices. It believes in storylines. It believes in timeline, and it believes that we need to make the right choices so that we can be happy. And oftentimes we get caught up in decisions of what's right, what's wrong, and we tend to lean on logic. But that process is flawed because that logic is always using reference points of the past. There's an assumption that there's an identity or a person actually making those choices. So the problem itself is there to make for or make real a person authoring their life or authoring the situation at hand. But in truth, love is, this is. A Course in Miracles talks a lot about decisions and choices. In fact, believing in decisions and choices, the Holy Spirit being a mediator, being or having the purpose of helping us awaken, can use choice as a means to waking us up. A Course in Miracles does make reference to the egoic need to create problems and busyness and so forth. But as we're making these choices and believing in these choices, we have the opportunity to pause and really ask what for. Whenever we're making a decision, stopping and saying, what's the purpose? What is this for? And ultimately, the answer will be one of two things. One, it would either be supporting or bolstering the ego or solidifying the illusion, or it will be leading us to peace. So, in my experience, whenever I feel like a decision has to be made, or I feel like there is something I need to do, the question that I ask myself is, what for? Why am I feeling I need to do this, or why am I feeling to make a choice? What is it for? And sometimes it's clear to me that it is for the self-concept. As I look back on the story of my past, there are plenty of times where choices were made to bolster the self-concept, to take pleasure. And whenever we make decisions or choose based on pleasure, pleasure is always personal. It's always for the body, whether it's a nice car, a nice purchase, fancy clothes. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Certainly going into those decisions with a sense of awareness is key so that we don't get lost in the dream and forget who we are. But in my past, I often made those choices and was certainly unaware of it, and they seemed to have led to lots of pain, discomfort, suffering, whatever. Or when I ask the question, what for, it's very clear that it's for the betterment of the whole. It's for inspiration. It's for joy. Then it's clear to me that the decision, or what the decision is that I need to make, I make. It's just following guidance, basically. That's what guidance is. It's basically a function of how we feel. And, whether it's a big, seemingly big decision or small decision, always coming back to what for. Every now and then, and most recently it's in my mind, I go to the coffee shop and I always see these tip jars. And I'm sometimes caught up in this, should I tip? Should I not tip? I don't know what to do. And then if I don't tip, should I have? And now I'm feeling guilty. And so recently I was in a coffee shop and I looked at the tip jar and I saw that the cashier was looking at me. And so I felt now pressured. It's like, what do I do? And really it just comes down to, what do I feel? If we're ever feeling pressured to make a decision, feeling that we're making a decision out of guilt, or if we're making a decision out of fear, then we know we are deciding based upon the ego's perception of the illusion, or the belief in the illusion. If we're making a decision based upon any of those reasons, we can pretty much assume that it will end up in some form of upset, and that's not aligned with peace. Peace being the goal, the question is, am I inspired to leave a tip? Am I led to want to leave a tip in that moment? And what I'm finding is sometimes I am, and sometimes I'm not. And that's okay. It really does not matter. It does not matter. And the more we practice this practice of just going within and just asking if we're inspired or not, the more we are becoming aware of inspiration and how we feel, the more we are becoming aware of the flow of everything. And it actually feels like it's loosening the need to be a decision maker. This awakening process is about letting go of authorship, letting go of decision making, and handing that over to something that does know, which is Holy Spirit, which is one with all things, which is what's true. And so as we come into this feeling, into this guidance, and just stay right there, what do I feel? Whenever we feel like we need to make a decision, really, what's the feeling? Where am I led? The more we're brought into what we are, we're not fragmented bodies in control. We're spirit, we're whole, we're complete. This is all there is, so there is no past, there is no future. And this becomes evident or more clear as we are reminded of what we're feeling. Love, love, love. We're inspired, extending. And all of which is just reminder. Oh, as I extend love, I'm reminded of love. I'm reminded that I am love. Decisions at that point don't matter. I'm not in charge. And it doesn't matter. There is no outcome different from what I am, which is love. So the next time you feel like you have decisions to make or problems to solve, remember, 1, you can't make a mistake. But 2, just ask, what's it for? I love you.